Oh, I've been waiting on this one. Not you, buddy. Get out of here. Hoodlum homie. I've been waiting for you, bud. Ooh. Ooh. Check it out. Check it out. Okay, okay. Oh. Oh, shit. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another sesh. Another, perhaps controversial one, but for sure an educational one, man. This is something interesting. I got something very, very expensive in my hands right now, but just a little bit of context. Possibly my most poppin' piece of content this entire year was on some very unique weed packaging that I'm sure you saw from either my page or a reposted 100 times page, and it was of the Birria pack, right? Birria, I don't know, bro, all right? Hop off my balls. The amount of comments that I got there, you're saying it wrong, suck my dick, okay? But anyway, it was an ounce of weed, a gram or two of rosin, an eighth, and a pack of papers. And that retailed for, I think, somewhere around $300, 300 bones. And that made an uproar. Like the amount of people that were adding me, the amount of people that were in the comments, the amount of people that DM'd me hate that was like, you got fucking scammed, frat boy, like I'll sell you $25 a gram. And I'm like, bro, like, it needs a little education, you know what I mean? Like, we just need a little bit of knowledge in the space, especially for people that have never seen prices like this, right? Like, if you've never seen like the $500 ounce that Goblin posted the other day, if you've never seen $1,000 ounces of Elephant's Growth or Cash Tree Mason, like, it's a whole new world to you. You're like, bro, weed's not worth more than $10 a gram. You know what I mean? So we're gonna jump into it. We're gonna jump into this motherfucking casket, which retailed for $1,000. $1,000. Before we break it down and before we smoke whatever's in here, I gotta give a shout out. They help me fund my weed purchases, but they also can help you fund yours. Shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Free Cash. Free Cash is a service that connects big companies and big brands willing to pay for users to people like you that's willing to be paid. You can get paid for completing surveys, downloading apps, playing games. And I know you've probably heard this before. You're like, Eric, this seems kind of sketchy. Let me explain to you how it works real quick. Let's take an app like TikTok or Netflix, these two offers, right? You can sign up for a trial on Netflix and get $10, or you can just download TikTok and they'll give you $2. You're thinking, that doesn't really make it, like, who's paying me? But it's TikTok and it's Netflix that are paying you, right? Because the name of the game for apps and games and everything on the App Store is users, and it's user retention, and it's the amount of new people that you can bring in. And for a game to have 10,000 concurrent active users, any single company in the world would pay $10,000 for that. Like, that's a big chunk of players, and you could bring that to advertisers, you can bring that to bigger companies and try to get funding, you know what I mean? Like, yo, look at our player base, look how many people are in here. On top of that, it bumps up the algorithm, it makes the app look better, it makes it rank better, and then it also brings in genuine new users. So they're almost using you like a sort of advertisement, you know? They're paying you for your service, because in reality, like, TikTok probably makes more off of you downloading the app than $2. But hey, you'll take $2, right? Like, just for fucking pressing a couple taps. And there's not an insane like threshold that you have to do. The average user makes a few bucks a day and they get paid out in like 15 to 17 minutes, bro. Which is crazy. That's like enough for like half an eighth or like a budget eighth. You know what I mean? You can get out there, take a shit, do a couple surveys, play a couple games, you can get gift cards, you can get it directly to your PayPal account. It's a dub. It's a dub. You can sign up in the description below. Use my code CON, and a few days from now, you can afford one of these. You know what I mean? You are on that app for what? Let's see, I think the average winning is $17 a day. You do it every day for 2 months, boom, you got yourself a $1,000 coffin from the boys over at Life Is Not Grape. Life Is Not Grape is one of those fucking players in the game, man, that really, it seems like they can charge whatever they want. Like, I commonly see eighths from them going for $80 to $90, sometimes $100. And this whole pack was $1,000. Now, here's the big thing, right? I want to get this right out of the way, because so many people are going to say, Eric, that's not worth it. Like, I don't care what's in it. I don't care if it's God's weed himself. Like, it's not worth it. And there's two answers to that, right? One, it's not worth it to you. Like, if this is priced at $1,000 and someone buys it for $1,000, it's worth it. Like, that's the market price. You know what I mean? Like, that is the actual price of the goods. That's what someone's willing to pay. That's the price of the object. That's just kind of how it works, all right? So it's kind of like if Ferrari was like, oh, our cars are $400,000, Jimmy can't afford it. but someone's gonna buy that motherfucking Ferrari, you know? They don't give a fuck what Jimmy thinks. They could care less if Jimmy hates on Ferrari every day for the rest of their life, because Jimmy's not gonna buy a Ferrari. Jimmy's not their target audience, you know? So for most people, you're not the target audience, you know? Like, it's not gonna be worth it to you. It's kind of like you're hating from outside the club, you know? Like, you can't even get in, buddy. But the other side of that coin, to play devil's advocate, is like value. You know what I mean? Like, if an ounce of this is $500 and an ounce of something else is $200, do I really get 2.5 times the enjoyment? Do I get 2.5 times the terps? Do I get 2.5 times the high? Like, is everything 2.5 times that $200 ounce? And that's when things start to get a little interesting. You know what I mean? That's when real value is started to like come out and everything. But like, for you to say that's not worth the amount of money, like, it just doesn't make sense. You're just kind of hating, you know? You're just sitting there hating. So let's break down what we got right here, bro. We got 1 ounce of premium quality indoor flower of the dark terps. I think all of these are dark terps, actually. That's like the name of the strain. So this came out during Halloween / Dia de los Muertos, and you can really tell, like, the whole vibe is just impeccable, bro. The dark terps, like the whole name, the jar itself is dark. You know what I don't really know what else to say, but that shit is like demonic almost. Dark terps also on the pre-rolls, and even the little details, like right here it says it's tragically hand rolled. You know what I mean? Like, just something small like that. And then you have miserable rosin right here. Like, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Is the extra packaging, is the theme, is the effort into that worth the extra price tag? I do not know, man, but I know normally his stuff is pretty expensive, right? Normally, like I said, $80, $90 an eighth, several $100s an ounce. I kind of want to get a second opinion on these donuts, so the second half of this video, we're gonna run to the studio, smoke one with Goblin and Tim and Josefo, and see what's really popping with this at the Pine Park studio. We'll probably take a dab to end it off, but I'm really just interested in this flower, man. Like, the first thing that catches my eye, because I think it's the most expensive thing out of this whole thing, right? Like, if these are $100 and maybe this jar is $200, then the majority of this package is what's in this bad boy right here. So we got the bong ready. I got my lungs ready. I got my nose ready. I haven't smoked almost all day. Like, I'm really just ready to see what $1,000, like, how high do I get? You know what I mean? Like, is it worth it? And like I said, that question is so loaded because, like, worth it just means different things to different people. Like, if you're only making 20 bucks an hour, I don't think this is ever gonna be worth it, you know what I mean? But if you're stacking some bread, if you're smoking weed all the fucking time, if you're just like a passionate enthusiast, a connoisseur maybe, then maybe something like this is worth it. You know, like, $1,000 bottle of wine isn't worth it to 99% of people. But there's 1% of people who are really into their wines, you know what I mean? That really collect wines, that are all about their wines every single day. To that motherfucker, like, $1,000 bottle of wine is worth it. Oh, fresh seal. Holy shit, okay. I mean, the size of these nugs is ridiculous. Like, right off the rip, man, we're not dealing with no fucking, you know what I'm saying? We're not dealing with no bullshit here. I mean, every nug is healthy as fuck. Every single, wow. I don't know if it gets better structurally, boys. I don't know if it gets better bag appeal wise. The structure, the looks, the trichomes, the colors. Hang on, let's see the actual structure, you know what I mean? Let's break it apart a little bit. I mean, I usually like to smoke you guys are the same, right? You usually like to smoke the ugliest nugs first, save the big ones for last, but this is genuinely the ugliest nug in there. And this is like a fucking beautiful nugget of weed, bro. What in the world right here? Hang on, let's check some things. Oh shit, dude. It's so sticky. It's like you can press it back and it won't. Oh fuck, man. All right. All right, structurally this might be like a 9.5, like a 9.6 out of 10, which is the highest score I've ever given anything for a weed in my life. I don't know. Looks aren't everything though. You know what I mean? Looks aren't everything. I've definitely seen weed that looks this good before and smoked 6 out of 10, smoked 7 out of 10. So, I mean, good looks on the fucking grow for damn sure. But let's see if she's smoking. Fresh bowl. I mean, a bong rip is something like this. You gotta hand grind it. You gotta have the fresh piece. You gotta have all the things in place. You know what I'm saying? There we go. Finish that off. Yeah, buddy. Had to also bust out probably one of my favorite sovereignties. We got the fixed 180 to the grid dome. Let's get her smoking, man. Let's see what what, like a $500-600 ounce really tastes like, man. Cheers, boys. Oh shit. Oh fuck, alright. Alright. The first thing that I judge weed on immediately is not the taste. Oh shit, you're all the way down there. But rather the smoothness, man. You ever take a bong rip that just kind of hurts? You ever smoke a joint that irritates you? That's not good, bud. You know what I mean? Like, I think the biggest difference between really, really great weed and just okay / everything in the mids is that hit, is that tingle, is that burn. Like, does it burn really hot? Is it actually like combusting at a proper temperature? Like, all of that kind of matters, man. I did flood the piece now that I think about it. The hit was kind of weird, but that's grown well. I don't really know what step along the growing process it takes for weed to be really smooth. I've heard it's the cure. Like, I've heard you can just grow weed and 90% of it, it's amazing up until the cure, and if you fuck up the cure, then everything's fucked, you know? Like, all of those weeks that you just spent growing that plant is fucked because it doesn't even smoke right. You know what I mean? Maybe it looks good, but that cure is really when shit starts to, you know, when the terps start to come out and when the freshness starts to come out, and if you pull it too early, if you pull it too late, it starts to affect the plant a little bit. And I can confidently say that that shit was smooth. Let's take another one. Whew, I'm fucking stoned off that one, boys. I can't even lie to you. Let's do another. Cheers. Okay, on that second one, I'm not gonna lie, there was a little bit more of a bite, a little bit more of a spice. You know what I mean? At the end, it wasn't as smooth as the first one. I wonder if the grind has something to do with that. That's interesting. Here's the thing about weed grown in California, right? That a lot of people, like, everyone just thinks like an ounce is the same price everywhere, but you really have to think about what goes into the price of that ounce. What goes into growing weed? Almost every single step is more expensive in California. From the genetics and the seeds, from the people that are growing it, like, there's expertise. Like, California is almost the home of cannabis. Like, the best growers in the world are in California. Now, we're at a point now where a lot of those growers and a lot of those experts and master growers and whatever you call them are out in other places, and they've moved, and some of them are in Thailand, some of them are in, you know, these small states trying to build a new empire, which is cool. But just know that the culture is there in California, you know? So you're gonna pay extra for certain knowledge. It's not mentorships, but it's something in cannabis. Like, there's people that are like, hey, I'll mentor you, and you pay them like for their knowledge and everything, right? But aside from all of that, aside from, you know, the history that goes into everything from California, the water is more expensive. Lights, electricity is much more expensive. Labor is much more expensive. If you're paying hand trimmers and actual people to be in there, that's much more expensive than a robot. California, there's certain regulations, there's certain laws, there's certain somethings, but the really, really expensive weed uses the top quality soils, and the expensive soils, it uses the most expensive lights. It's grown with a lot of water. Water's a lot of fucking money. Like, every single step of the way is more expensive in California. So you can get similar quality weed like in Oklahoma for cheaper. That's why Oklahoma has some of the cheapest weed in the entire country, bro, because electricity is really cheap there. You know what I mean? So, like, just because you have really expensive weed doesn't mean it's really good. Price is more of a factor of where it's grown and how it's grown compared to how the actual weed is. The actual end product can be fuck all, but there's gonna be a baseline price that ounce has to sell for in order to recoup the cost. So if you're, like, just really think about it, bro. If you're smoking like $60 ounces, what the fuck went into growing that ounce? Like, it was mid-quality genetics, it was mid-quality soil, it's mid-quality, it's maybe like grown or trimmed automatically via a robot, and there's no love or humans behind it. Like, there's so much that goes into the price of weed, and if you're smoking really, really cheap weed, you really gotta think about it, because, like, one, the dispensary has to make money on that. Two, the distributor has to make money on that. And then three, eventually the grower is gonna make money on that. But how much is the grower making? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just follow the steps a little bit and you're like, wait, I might be smoking some mid. But at the same time, if you're in a place like Oklahoma where everything's cheap, then, you know, you gotta look at more than just the price. So you're looking at, I don't know. Then you start to look at, like, living soil and like the actual different types of soil. Then you start to look at, I don't know, bro. It's a game out there. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, though, I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I don't know. I smoke weed for a living and shit, right? Like, I love this shit. This is great weed. This is some of the best weed that I've smoked in a long ass time, 100%. Some of the top weed of this year, I would say. I don't know if I'd pay $600 an ounce for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's dope. It's really good, but that's just such an exorbitant price tag. But that might be what I said before. Like, bro, I really want a Ferrari. I love Ferraris, but like, I'm just not in that price bracket yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not in this price bracket yet type shit. Like, it's great. It's good. It's better than almost all of the other weed that I have in my crib. But am I paying that much for it? You know, like, it's still getting me just as high. You know, like, the experience might be more enjoyable. Yes, it's a lot smoother. Yes, the taste is great. But I'm just as high as like a Blueprint 8. And Blueprint 8s are pretty expensive, 50, 60 bucks sometimes. But that's like, you know, 40% less. I'm not 40% higher than Blueprint, you know? That's like a high bar though. You know, it's just such designer exclusive. Like, you're paying for so much more than just the high that I feel. You know what I mean? You're paying for like almost like the art, the quality behind it. You're paying for the craftsmanship. There's a lot that goes into it. You really have to love weed. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. I smoke weed for a fucking living, damn near. And it's still kind of hard for me to justify this, but I'm just not the target audience, right? Like, for me to say it's not worth $600 an ounce, to me, personally. But I know there's a motherfucker that's gonna buy this for $600 and be like, holy shit, that's the best $600 ounce I've ever bought. You know what I mean? It's just, it's different like levels to this. There's different strokes for different folks kind of vibe. It's like a 9.1, 9.2 overall weed. Like I said, so, like top 5 weed of this I've smoked this year. But shit, that's expensive. I'm just like, I just come from Texas, man. You know what I mean? I come from $100 half ounce. I come from like $70, $80 half ounces and like $200 zips of what I thought was gas. So it's just hard for me to break out of that mindset. Even though now I've been in California for damn near 3 years, smoking expensive, exotic, whatever you want to say, exclusive. But my heart's still there in Texas. My heart's still with my wallet. My heart's still with the budget. Like, it's gas though. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna look back at this in a year and be like, Eric, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, that shit was so awesome. I don't know. Is it amazing weed? Yes. Would I buy it again? No. Is kind of the verdict, you know? It just depends how much money you make. I really do, like, are you a breadwinner? You know what I mean? Like, you got bread like that? That's lit. Taking one more bong rip. I'm high as fuck. Holy shit. I'm high as shit. Let's go smoke this donut with the boys. Shit's filthy, man. Off of only 2 bong rips. Ridiculous. Cheers, everybody. Woo! Get go!
Honestly, for it being where it is and how far it is, great turnout.
Yeah,
like an insane turnout.
Incredible. And everyone was pretty local too. Like, no one really traveled. But shout out to anyone who shout out to the But shout out to the motherfucker who did travel. Who took like that 6-hour train ride. He said.
Yeah.
I think he woke up at 7, 8 a.m. He said. Maybe before that, 5, because he had to catch like a fat train.
He was on a train 6 a.m.
That's so. He woke up at 5-ish, and then I asked him. I think he was like, "Yo, you want to stick around and smoke?" He's like, "Nah, bro, I gotta catch it back." And I was like, "Dang." Didn't realize we had this. Oh, they're numbered. I have number 6. Is that 6 of 61? I don't know if that's numbered. I can't tell what that is. Wait. I don't know. 1999? Hey, maybe. It's my birthday right there. Oh, shit. We're smoking the second one. It turns out it actually, I don't think it was a donut. So that makes the value of this thing even crazier. The fact that it's 2 joints and not any rosin in them, kind of crazy. What the fuck is good, chat? What the fuck is good, guys? Aw, shit, they're going crazy, man. We're doing this one live. If you're not tuned into the live streams, then what the fuck are you doing, man? Come on now. Look how much fun everyone's having. Look how much fun we're all having. We're just smoking some gas, man. Let's break this motherfucker open. Shout out to them for this one, for sure. Cheers. Let's chill. And last but very not least, We gotta try the rosin, man. The miserable rosin. Also dark tears. This packaging is just so crazy, bro. It's even like reflective in the light and shit. Like, come on now. Look at that. That's what I'm saying, right, Kento? It's crazy. Oh, when I tell you guys this shit is terptastic, it's some of the terpiest terps I've ever terped, man. Damn, it's like, bro, I'm almost out of like, it's not sweet, right? It's not sweet at all. It's chemi, it's like gassy, it's gassy chemi, but it's a little bit of like, it's so pungent that there has to be another word here. Cause like just gas chem, you think of weed, but like, there's another smell going on right here. And I think I'm so high after the stream that I really can't like put my finger on it. It's not pine, it's like, bro, it's straight gas. Like it's like you went to the gas station and like poured out some gas and then pressed it out, concentrated that smell somehow. It's like pure gas, you know? It's not just gasoline. Dude, I don't know. Let's just fucking get after it, shall we? Got the little Puffco right here. This has to be fucking clean. Do you see how dirty this is? Actually, I think all my e-rigs have to be clean, bro. I'm gonna just do a big cleaning. I got like 2 Puffcos, 2 Cartas that all need a deep cleanse, so that's what I'm gonna do while this video renders, man. Okay. Dude, oh my god, I'm dropping shit. Any of my OG lovers, like, I'm pretty much the opposite. I love some citrus. I love some fucking, you know, the Z terps. I love all that shit. This is like, so this really isn't even my preference of terp, you know what I mean? So when we talk about value of the entire box, like, there was only one strain, you know what I mean? Like, I probably wouldn't have bought this box, but if there was another one, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck? This might be one of the first times where the flavor comes out more than the smell for a rosin. Which there's only a few brands that do that, you know? Dude, I cannot get over that fucking taste. This might turn me on to like, I don't know if it's an OG. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't consider this an OG. It's like a, I can't describe it, dude. I can't describe it. It's a fucking mystery. I think I'm just too stoned. Like, I might just be too fucking high right now. Like, I don't know. That's definitely a worthy jar. You know what I mean? And I've had some crazy, like, weed, like a really expensive weed is kind of new to me. I'm not gonna lie. But really expensive hash, I've been in my fair game of hash, you know what I mean? I gotta make a video on this Piatella that I have over here. Like, I've smoked, and I'm used to being around like 100, even $200 grams of hash rosin. So like, this for 120 each, and you know, maybe the full jar is 240 or something like that, which I've paid for before. You know, that's like the most amount I've ever spent on a weed product, I think. I paid 120 per gram for a 2-gram jar. 240 bones for 2 grams. And honestly, I didn't even regret it. Like, that's how good the terps were. And I can tell that this is the same case. Like, if this was 120 a gram, I could see why type shit. You know what I mean? I could definitely see why. So, hey, man. Hey, man. Overall opinion. I mean, without the price tag, right? Like, if you were to just give me this weed, and if you were to just give me that rosin and give me that joint, it's pretty amazing shit. You know what I mean? It's pretty amazing shit. I'd be happy as fuck. And then that smile would instantly kind of change a little bit once you told me, hey, by the way, that was like $1,000 smoke. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm on your guys' side with a lot of this. Like, $1,000 is a lot to spend on weed, and I don't know if I'm ready yet. I don't know if I'm there yet. No matter how good the weed is, the weed better fucking be a step away from sucking my dick for $1,000. You know, you actually, for $1,000 you could pay for some pussy. You know what I mean? You could pay for some suck and some fuck. So, is this better than some suck and some fuck? That's up to you to decide, you know what I mean? But big shout out to Life Is Not Grape for doing what they do, man. Providing the gas, pushing the boundaries, unique packaging, like all that shit is pretty dope. It's just a whole different game, you know. I really hope at the end of the day this educated you on like the different levels of weed and different shit out there, because there's really just a lot of crazy stuff, man. There really is just a lot of crazy stuff. It's like a 9.25 overall, but for the price, I think you can get 9.5 for cheaper. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Like, it's not 10 out of 10. If it was 10 out of 10, then maybe it'd be worth $1,000. It's pretty fucking up there. It's top 3, it's top 5. But the other things in the top 3 and top 5 are not $1,000, you know what I'm saying? But regardless, it was incredible. A little bit of an experiment, if you want to call it that. I don't know if it was successful or unsuccessful, but I smoked it and it was pretty fucking good, all right? So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure to check out Free Cash. Use my code on there to get yourself some free cash. Make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe if you're new and all that. Show some love to Life Is Not Grape on IG. And when he drops some new projects and shit, make sure to show some love to it, man, because it's like a rare breed. It's like a rare art form, you know what I mean? Type shit. So that's gonna be it for me. I love y'all. Thanks for chilling, smoking along with me. I'll see you in the next video, which is gonna be probably tomorrow. Peace. I love you.